that's divided. A world where different political systems all rule at once, but in different places. A world where everyone is classified in terms of their economic power. A world full of millionaires and paupers. But what if we changed things? I'm not a communist, and I'm not against capitalism. I'm just someone who believes that any system that allows individuals to own billions and pillage the earth while their fellow humans starve is not a good system. I believe that any system that gives rights of personhood to individual corporations cannot be the best system. I believe that any system that encourages profit as the be-all and end-all cannot be the best system. A recent study by Oxfam estimates that by next year, the wealthiest 1% of the world's population will own more net wealth than the bottom 99% combined. This is staggering information. And it shouldn't just leave us astonished, it should leave us angry. As efficient as the machine of free market capitalism really is, it must be tethered by a democratic, egalitarian force that represents the interests of all of us who share this planet. If we want to enjoy a prosperous future as cosmic citizens, we must realize that the current economic systems that we live in are inadequate for the future that we will be experiencing in the coming decade. Albert Einstein once said that the only way we can solve problems is if we don't use the same mindset that caused those problems in the first place. We need radical change in the way we think and the way we solve problems. Most of us would turn to politicians to solve problems, but solving problems is not what politicians do. Most politicians are only good at PR and marketing and getting themselves elected. They're more concerned about approval rating and public opinion than they are about the truth, and they say things that the electorate want to hear. So no, solving problems is not their forte. Let's give our problems to those who are good at solving problems. Let's give our problems to scientists. After all, solving problems is what they do. Economic inequality will always exist as long as we fail to recognize the inherent tendencies of capitalism to concentrate wealth at the top. It's time we adopt an economic system that is sustainable and benefits every sentient being on this planet. And that is where the Venus Project steps in. By supplying an efficiently designed economy, everyone can benefit from a very high standard of living. The Venus Project, led by Jacques Fresco, proposes the idea of a resource-based economy. It is based on the principle that the Earth is abundant with resources, but the method we have been using to utilize these resources has been counterproductive for the efficient growth of humanity. As we humans move into a new age of space exploration, I have a few questions I'd like to ask. I admit, I don't have all the answers. But sometimes just asking the question could be useful. My first question is, how much can one person own when the universe is our playground? These are the riches of the top 10 wealthiest people on this planet. The diet-and-roll capitalists and the wolves of Wall Street will tell you that these men worked hard for their riches. My position is that they didn't do it alone, that they had enormous teams and cadres of dedicated people who helped them amass their wealth. My position is that any system that allows this kind of disparity between the rich and poor just cannot be the best system. My second question is, will individuals and corporations be allowed to own entire asteroids and planets. Because currently, a handful of corporations own practically everything on this planet. They own our music, they own our real estate, they own our education and health facilities, they own food and livestock, they even own sequences of our DNA. Some people would say that corporations even own people. The point that I want to raise is, again, how much is enough? When we start to colonize the rest of the planet and explore the rest of the universe, will we have a future where corporations own real estate on the moon or chunks of asteroid? Will corporations be able to claim ownership of the rings of Saturn or the moons of Jupiter? If we left corporations to their own devices, they would happily be willing to own entire stars and star systems. And no, this isn't okay. Something needs to be done about it. My next and final question is, how do we avoid an avatar-like future of colonization and exploitation? We educate ourselves, and we educate our future generations, and of course, we change our entire perspective on this life. We really need to change our perspective because we've made a lot of mistakes in the past. We've colonized other lands, we've destroyed native cultures, and we've ruined the habitat of countless species. When we start to explore the rest of the universe, we will inevitably encounter other life forms. I can only hope that our species will be wise enough to not repeat the same mistakes of the previous centuries. I'd like to end on that note and leave you with a thought by Jacques Fresco. Although many of us consider ourselves to be forward thinkers, we still cling on tenaciously to the old values of the monetary system. The 21st century demands the declaration of Earth's resources as common heritage to all people. Who is going to make this happen? I believe my generation will.